Good morning. It is oil change day, the 10-hour oil change on the Kymron xh20d. Had it running for about 20 minutes or so, probably more, warming up the oil, and I greased the whole thing. I did find there is one fitting right underneath down here, which is a big butt pain, but the rest of them are pretty good. I actually kind of like these guys because I don't have to worry about clipping off the end of them, especially the ones down here where they're getting down into the dirt. So I've located the drain plug, so we come in around the back. Lighting will be on this button. We'll get a little light in there, right there, right there, up underneath, right between the tracks. 17 millimeter. So we'll go ahead and get this going. You got right here, this panel, it's got to come off. You got to take this off, and every time you got to check the oil. But there's 6 bolts. I already got 5 of them out, and those are 13 millimeters. So you got to take the floor mat off, obviously. So I got this here to catch the oil, and the book says it's like 3 liters. So I'm going to capture it and see how much I actually get before I refill it. So we'll go ahead and get started. Oil looks nice and clean, but it's that abrasive break-in oil. I like that it has this little recess right here, so I should be able to get pretty much all the oil out of it. So we'll let that go for a while. No sense watching that drain out. Down here we got the dipstick, got an oil filler here, and we got another one up on top, and the oil filter is right down here next to the dipstick behind a couple of wires. Probably going to burn myself getting at it. I'm going to crack this little oil filler for reduce the pressure, let the oil come out a little bit quicker. So here we have the oil filter behind these wires right here. Right there. I'm going to spin that off. I'm not going to be able to get that on video, so I'll get it off, show you. This is what we're after. They gave you this with the machine, this little Chinese oil filter. So the oil filter is a little hard to get off. You can get your hand around it, but this right here starts cutting on you. I'm gonna try this first. This is like, I don't know, shelf liner or something. Works really good for getting off a slippery oil filter before I try any kind of a wrench. We'll see how this goes. So that's a no-go. On this stuff, that thing is on tight. So we're gonna give this a try. I've never used this before. Got it at a garage sale last year. Looks like it will work pretty well if I can spin it the right direction. We'll see what happens. Plan B. After struggling for several minutes, I managed to get this on there and got it off, but it was a battle. So now I think I can get it with my hand. Here she comes. Probably boogered up all the wires that were in front of it. There she be. Tiny little bugger. Here's the filter. Came with the machine. I'll go ahead and use it for this first time. And I'm gonna try and partially pre-fill, but it's in there horizontal, so there's no way to get that thing in there if it's full without getting oil all over the place. So we'll put a little of this Rotella in there. That was probably more than I wanted to. I don't know that I'll be able to film this. We'll give it the old college try. I do say that the roughest part about this is this sharp metal edge that you gotta work around. That's great footage of my hand. Okay, it's not tight yet, but I'm curious to see. It looks like I got some oil down in. Didn't stay in the filter. I had to take the dipstick out in order to get that oil filter off. And now we will use this cloth stuff, shelf liner, to get it not as tight as the original. Totally unnecessary, but whatever. That should do it. So it's all done dripping. Put that baby in. At least this was easy. Finding it originally was hard. According to the diagram in the book, it was right by the dipstick underneath, which would have been a nightmare. Definitely would go for a socket, give you a little bit of clearance. So now we're going to measure how much oil came out of this. Looks like 2.5 quarts, or I'll call it 2.3 liters, since I'm the physics teacher. Okay, so I made a mark at 1.5 quarts, about 1.4 liters, and that's how much should be left in here before I check the oil. So we'll go ahead and get that in there. So there is another fill back there. If you take the seat and tilt it up, there's a couple wing nuts back here, but they're kind of a pain, so I'd rather just try this. Hopefully it goes in good. What'd you do today? I watched a 3 or 4 minute video of oil going into a funnel. That'll do it. We'll let that sit for a bit and then we'll check the oil after I put the dipstick back in, of course. Okay, final check of the oil. We ran it for a bit. We fueled it up, let it settle back down while we fueled it up. And let's see where she's at after running for a bit. Looks like it's about halfway between the low and the high. Might put a little bit more in there before I put the cover on. Okay, so we got it running. I don't see any leaks. No run, drips, or errors. So I'll shut it down in a minute or so, check the oil again, and wrap this up. Added another half quart. And that got us to this mark right here. About a half a centimeter below the full line. I'll take it. So again, thanks for watching.